off with the most recent news in terms of recruiting. Really, the only big news.
Yeah, some big recruit. Well, I would call it big recruiting news. We were talking about this earlier. Uh, Safety was a bit of a concern for Miami as with the couple misses that they had over the course of the month. But Mario makes he makes a nice acquisition, gets a nice recruit coming in 4-star safety Cortez Redding. That's a guy right there that you want. 4-star from Jonesboro, Georgia, announcing his commitment to Miami over Indiana, NC State, Ole Miss. 6', 170, number 22, the 22nd commit for Miami, back in the top 10 in terms of 247's rankings.
Yep, big acquisition. The guy is a phenomenal box safety. I think I looked it up. His stat total 118 tackles last season alone. You look at a guy like Zach, watch some Zachariah Poyser film this next year because he might fill that same role sliding into it once he gets to Miami. Really, Miami, like we talked about a bunch. Miami missing a bunch of safeties, missing on the DBs, and this is a good get outside of your own state. Really good acquisition for the Canes.
Yeah, box safety is a big want for Corey Heatherman. I know that. He loves his safeties. He loves athletic guys. He loves a guy that's going to be able to play. I mean, the box safety is big for him because he can play a little linebacker, and that's exactly what he wants from a guy. So, I mean, that's for Corey Heatherman, for the system, it's a really nice move. For Mario, it's a great move. I mean, Miami's now 17th blue chip prospect, the most in the crystal ball era. Things are trending upwards, and that's a good move, and that's a move that you want to be able to be happy that Miami is able to make. Nothing about that. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, exactly. And like last week, we were talking about just taking guys from outside of your own state. Miami starting to get a play like Reading out of Georgia. Nice place to branch out in the southeast over here. So you take it, solid player. Then that's really Miami's biggest news in terms of guys they've added. But another piece of big news is a reclass. I mean, last year Miami had Malachi Tony reclass, and this year another DB in terms of that DB going to be added to this class of 2026 with Kenton Dobson. So Miami adding another member there, 4-star corner out of Norland High, right in the backyard. But a little bit interesting things to keep an eye out. He is reportedly interested in taking visits from other teams. A bunch of other teams are still very interested in him. So a player to kind of watch and see if Miami can hold on to as this recruiting class goes. And I forgot to mention it, touch on at the end there with Reading, but Reading did leave the door open in an interview with Rivals after his commitment to Miami. He feels he's committed, but he did say that no recruit should shut down their commitment entirely at this point, early on. And I mean, it kind of just goes to show it's constantly, huh?
The state of the sport right now.
The state of the sport. Yeah, exactly. It's so fluid and, a bunch. You got to keep an eye on the people. You got to keep an eye on, even though there's a lot of respect for Miami and a lot of respect for these recruits and where, you believe they're going to end up here. But you do have to keep an eye as other teams are going to constantly be interested. Other teams are going to constantly reach out through various methods. With NIL, especially if a team comes in with a big offer, you got to watch. You got to keep an eye out there.
Two guys that, as much as they say they're going to Miami, if a school were, as you said, were to offer some big money, things could change. So, I mean, as long as Miami keeps that same commitment to these guys, Cortez Redding and Kenton Dobson in 2026 are two very good players to add to already, in my opinion, great secondary that Miami is building with, the transfers that we have. And then you add that with some, the recruits. It's a really good 2026 class so far for Mario.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, you're looking at the DB group we kind of talked about a couple weeks ago, is that this group is really this group is they brought a lot of older players in to kind of hold down roles for now, but I think in the future you constantly recruit and refresh this DB room with younger guys and constantly moving guys into this class. Not only, I mean, through those two, but you look at class 27, 28, yada yada, and you look at the guys that they brought in this year, between the youth and the veterans that they brought in through the transfer portal. It's a good blend for Miami to kind of establish year in, year out a deep secondary.
Yeah, that's a great point because they did add the whole purpose of this offseason was to add legitimate players to the team in the secondary. And then for the 2026 class, Mario accomplished his goal of trying to get more DBs to be able to develop them so that you don't have to rely on the portal as the years go on. So getting a Chuck Brantley sets in position for a year of or Zachariah Poyser and Ethan O'Connor. They set up years for other dudes to potentially be that guy as and to get them the development that they need as they move forward. Like maybe like a guy like a Jalen Waters or some of the secondary recruits that they currently have. It will set them up for the near future. But having these guys in right now will help them. You would hope that it would at least be mainstays for now, so that in the future will progress.
And I mean,